All right. So, whoever installed some thing on my computer, which of course, because I'm
Not
using
you.
the computer one, the office one, they've got this file scan. And so every time it's uploading, it's also file scanning. And I have no idea how to turn it off. Anyway,
Can't trust the IT department.
can't trust the IT department. Don't even get me started. We are having a conversation about the quality of the quality of the computers. No, just the quality of the computers that we are assigned for the type of work that we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they don't align.
Why would they?
Why would they? Yeah.
Why would you need a tool to do a job?
Or why are they being a tool?
Why? So, well, yeah, I mean, that's funny. People in firms work for the architects, not the other way around.
It doesn't seem like people understand that. Like, we're the ones that actually are the service that's being provided to bring in the money to keep the lights on and
You
everybody's
literally are
salary.
the machine. Yeah, right.
Yes. So all of this started as a conversation based off of one of the BIM managers within the firm that just got a new computer, and it is about as slow as everybody else's. You would think that somebody who is there to try to troubleshoot other people's work and all that other stuff would have a fancy schmancy faster machine.
Well, especially when the cost difference between the machine you're talking about them having and the machine they could have is what, maybe $1,000, which is what, maybe a day's worth of their billable rate, which is amortized over how long they're going to have that computer.
Exactly.
It's nothing. It is nothing.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's a big whopping zero. It's a rounding error.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God. Yeah,
Exactly.
those kinds of decisions are crazy.
It's like, why?
Yeah, why?
I remember I used to take my computer with me to AIA conventions, and you and friend of the show, Brett, if you recall, used to him specifically used to laugh at me on the little janky computer. He's like, "That's what they've given you?"
Ouch. Nothing like a
Yes.
little jab from up here.
Exactly right. It's like, yes, that's what they've given me. How do you get any work done with that thing? That's like so 2 decades ago.
Not quite that bad. Well, sorry for your tech woes.
Funny enough, it's not even mine right now. It's other people
Well, that's
that
true. It's your BIM
supporting
managers.
that are supporting me that should have the right equipment and don't. But whatever.
This is an age-old issue. Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Do you guys rent your lease your gear or buy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's always been kind of a different arguments in favor of each one of those strategies for
It's funny
large
that
firms.
so the students now are running like BIM 360 and stuff on their machine because they're doing group projects and they're using Revit in the cloud.
It's called
And-
ACC now, Cormac. It's called ACC now.
Yeah, ACC. But anyway, well, it certainly ain't creative, and it certainly ain't constructive. But
The creative is not part of it. Just
yes, creative is
not
definitely not part of it, and constructive isn't either. Construction. Anyway, and they were like, "Oh man, it takes so forever to open up my Revit model," and
you're their models.
tiny.
Did they? Yeah,
I
they
was
don't
just-
even. You can,
I was just
and
like,
you're
you
like,
don't even
oh
know
yeah.
the struggle. Look, how you fix for waiting around for 52 minutes? You don't wait
I
for
remember-
that. I'm like, let me show you.
Yeah, I remember when you told me about that. That's painful. Jeez.
That's just one of two. That's just one of two. It's the bigger one of the two, but yes, it is still.
Well, I had a little pain in the last few weeks, which was I just just to let you know, I'm still an
Yeah.
architect. I
Are you?
renewed my license and registrations, and yeah,
Good,
depending on the
good,
state.
good.
Yeah, so
You're still renewing California, right? Keeping California.
yeah, you can't let
Can't.
go of California.
Right, right.
It,
Well.
it costs too much pain to get,
Yeah, yeah.
and dollars and ongoing effort, but I can't not do it.
I still
they've trapped me. I'm a captive audience.
So I'm keeping my first. You always love the first, right?
I shake my head every time you bring up your Florida license.
Yeah.
Just like,
Will
what?
I ever use it? No.
No, you will not.
Is it nostalgia? Yes.
It's to you, man. You are a nostalgia junkie.
I am. You know what's funny is I was sitting here sketching. I don't know if you can
You're
you see?
sketching. You've got your old Minolta camera laying around there. Like you've
Yeah.
got your football teams. You've got
Well,
you're a loyal architect and man of society.
all right. Well, that's funny. I don't know. So what have you been up to?
Well, besides renewing my license and going through the pain of all that continuing education and then paying the fees,
All right. So why paying for all the
because I'm a procrastinationer. Yes, that's why. Yeah, and you didn't gift me any CE credit.
dude? If I could, I could give you all of the.
You
ones
could give
that
the
you need
whole
for 2 years.
you could distribute like this is the whole share the wealth, right? Like there's enough
Yeah.
wealth out there to bring
Well-
the bottom up. I'm at the bottom, you're at the top. Let's distribute. Let's redistribute.
I don't know how I could gift you those.
My California is so special that you basically have to find the needle in a haystack to get those
So-
kinds of credits.
How many do you need for California?
10, just 10.
Just
but
10?
5 ZNCDs and 5 ADAs, which are
What is the first one?
Zero Net Carbon Design, ZNCD.
And that's so you only need 10 total?
Yep.
And see, because like Maryland, Florida, AIA, I mean, AIA is what, 18? But they've got to be like HSWs. A certain amount are HSWs.
Right.
Florida, 24. But you have to have both HSWs and what they call advanced building code for hurricanes and things like that. And then Maryland's just, yeah, you can do 24. We need X amount to be HSWs. The others can be regular standard learning units, and none of them really actually have to be very specific for net carbon zero
Yeah.
and don't have to be ADA. But I typically do like ADA ones for advanced building code and all that other stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, California's 10, but those are harder to come by. And it's funny because most people want to charge for those. And so they're trying to create an
Does
ecosystem.
like California AIA offer
Yes.
free CEUs?
Yeah. Well, no, not free for
Not
not
free?
those. Not those.
That's so they're just getting
They
you on
offer
both-
ones that don't count for free. Yes.
They're just getting you on both sides.
Right. And then Oregon is 24 HSWs. So
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, I had my work cut out for me over the last month.
Sounds like
so,
it.
Yeah. Anyway, besides that,
Any highlights, real quick?
no, zero highlights. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I want you to relive the pain.
It's gone, done. Check literally like this was a checkbox, and I treated it as such
It was
because
a
of my
checkbox
procrastination.
associated with a check.
Yes. I think I told you this before. They raised the renewal rate $100. They went from $300 to $400
In California?
in California. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you know both? Like,
For the exact same process. Well, actually, now I get to upload all my certificates because now they're actually looking at them. So I actually need to do more than check a box that says I've done this, and they charge more for such a privilege. So
I would wish that they would do that because, as we've talked in the past, that I've gotten many audits from specifically state of Florida for, hey, did you do your CEUs? Why, yes. But you could have made it a lot easier by me uploading them when I renewed.
What's funny is California still says that people can be randomly automated, even though you provide the proof when you renew. So it's like, yeah, extra bureaucracy in California? Absolutely.
Do you have to pay for the auditing as well?
Right. You pay the hourly rate for the auditor.
Yeah. How much more money can we charge you? Ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway. I got to go to New York City. That's what I've been up to. And I sent
New York City.
A really fun photo from the Goog. That was the Goog, which you still haven't gotten to go into, like, really beyond the.
You know, we're not allowed to talk about that trip in our house. Because tell the story. What's the story here? I don't know if I have a story. I don't know if I'm
that
allowed
matches
to
the quality of your story, or the situation at least of your story.
Yeah, well, let's just say this was early on in my children's lives. We were in New York. We were touring around. We had lunch, and one of my kids got food poisoning and started feeling worse and worse and worse. And so...
And you're like, just push through it. We got stuff to see.
The trip was like, we were getting close to the Guggenheim, and we were going to go and do that anyway. And then this child couldn't wait much longer, so my wife rushed kid into the bathrooms, and the lady's like, oh, you can't go. And she's like, look, it's either I either get to the bathroom or you're cleaning up a mess right here. And so when she finally got said kid, I can't identify which.
You can't out them.
Is.
Yeah,
I can't out them just in case. And so it was let's just say we now refer to it as the Guggen slime. And we
at least
feel
it came
like
out of that end and not the other end.
Both. Both.
So maybe it's the
Both.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So we took out 2 different bathrooms, and so like I was standing in the lobby looking up at the skylight and the swirls, and that is the extent of my trips to the Guggenheim. Now, one time I did go there, and again it was just the lobby because I wanted to take a picture of the medallion right as you walk in the front door.
Yeah. Because
you've heard my little thing there. If you look at that medallion and you take a picture of that medallion, and then you walk down to the Oculus and you sit there, and there's a vantage point where you look at the medallion and you look at the Oculus, and you swear it's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the medallion right now, and I visited both of these locations that you just spoke of.
Does it not look like? Yeah. See, people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "No. You just look it up. Just look up the medallion at the Guggenheim lobby." And then you just pull up a picture of the Oculus, and somebody had to be inspired, or it was just dumb luck.
Coincidence,
yeah. But anyway, so that's mine, and I'm hoping that your Guggenheim story is not the same.
I mean, there's not much of a story, so it doesn't compete on any level with your experience at the Goog. But it was my second time visiting, and this time was a beautiful visit. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful space. And
Yeah,
what's so
yeah.
cool is how much you get to experience it because you just go in, you get to look up, and as architects do, your your jaw drops open. And then you go all the way to the top on the elevator, and then you work your way all the way down. And it's really a wonderful experience. And my wife got to join me, and so for the first time got to go to the Goog, and she was like, "This is incredible." So that was cool.
Is that what you call it? Is that what they call it? The Goog?
That's what I call it. I
Okay.
don't think they probably don't approve of that.
Probably don't approve of my name either. But they also have probably my picture and my family's pictures on the wall.
You're on the
It says,
list.
Do not let them back in this building.
Right.
They've soiled, literally,
Yes.
this sacred place of
Defaced it. So I got to go to New York because
it was
I was
pollocked.
Oh, that's not good. Jeez.
Sorry, to get that last one in.
So I got to go visit because I was invited to moderate a panel discussion at the AEC Tech Conference, which is a AEC Tech Conference put on by the core studio of Thornton Tomasetti, which is their kind of digital R&D advanced group that does amazing work. And it was a great event. If anybody out there is into AEC Tech, I think it's probably, I'm trying to think of the other ones that are out there. I would say it's top tier for sure. I haven't been to all the other ones, so I probably shouldn't rank it. But wow. And it's an all week long thing. It's Tuesday through Friday. They do firm tours. They have workshops. Then the day that I was there, they have a day-long presentations and panel discussions. And then they do a 2-day hackathon after that. And so teams kind of form and come up with an idea and then go at it all night long if they want to, and then present their ideas the next day. And there's prizes and winners and community and all these cool things. So overall, like, it's a pretty incredible event. And they actually did 5 of these this year. So all over the world. They did them in London and Chicago and all over the place. So this is the culminating event and the biggest one. There were about 300 people there. And I just released an episode today of the panel discussion that I moderated. I recorded it also so that more people could hear it who couldn't visit. So if you want to check out the episode that I put up, I'll put a link to it in the show notes so you can hear that. But my panel discussion was 4 people on the panel who are all in top leadership positions in firms who got to those positions through a technology, I don't want to call it a track, but through a career trajectory around that of technology. And so, I mean, that's kind of what I would call maybe a newer shift in firm leadership development, where you actually have technology people at the table making decisions for firms. And so it was a really great, insightful conversation about kind of their journeys to those positions.
Is this something similar to like a director of digital practice or something like that?
Even more, CTO, CIO, and even CEO, at least CEO elect of HKS. So the 4 people on the panel, we had Jonathan Nelson from Populous. He is a global leader of their technology arena. Nirva Farashetian, who is at CBT Architects in Boston, which we visited at the AIA conference. Yeah. And then there was Heath May, who is the CEO-elect of HKS, and HKS is a global firm. And then Shane Berger of SOM, who is like their chief design officer, technology officer.
It seems like a small firm. Never heard of
it. You may not have heard of SOM.
Probably boutique.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just pretty incredible to see their journey to get to those positions and get to talk to them about it. And my goal was actually to really have the audience drive the questions. And so I'm kind of tired of presentations. Here's a one way, not a discussion, right? And so I really wanted to turn it into a discussion. So I kicked off with an initial question, and then I completely turned it over to the audience and let them drive the questions. And they brought it, man. They brought some super insightful, really illuminating questions. And so I thought, if there's anybody out there who's, this is one of the things that we didn't get in school, right? We didn't get,
Right.
You could go down a technology path and work your way to firm leadership or have your own firm or any of those things. It was like, you can be a designer. You should really be a designer, right? And then there was project management, and then there was technical, but the emphasis was always on design.
Right.
And there was really no other perspective given. And I don't know that there even was another perspective back then. We're old, right? Let's be honest.
We're old, but
You're old. You're old.
wow. You're grayer.
I'm grayer on. Well, if I grew the beard, I would be
I
even
was
more.
gonna say,
I would be
dude.
white, a white beard.
Santa.
Yeah, but that, like I said, that wasn't even a thing for us. And then that has happened over the last 25, 30 years, right? To now, it is a viable path, and I think it's still a very big question mark for a lot of people of how does that even work, because it's still not something that is really brought up in any kind of conversation around the ascension of leadership and corporate ladders and all those things for new graduates to being a long time in a career.
So, though I don't want to, I want to encourage everyone to go and to listen to the episode. But what were some of your kind of like key takeaways? Or maybe like something that was interesting about like their path that kind of took them from what we were just talking about as kind of like the traditional path of an architect to leadership to somebody who is more of a technology-based career path, which back in the day would have probably just limited them in kind of like pigeonholed them into a specific thing and not
CAD
really
support or something
exactly
like that.
exactly yeah.
Right. Well, I think the thing that we need to acknowledge is that we don't do architecture without technology. Like there actually isn't such thing anymore as a quote unquote digital practice. Like, and our whole lives have it's interwoven, right? There is a, you can call it a technology layer, but it's everywhere. It's in everything. It's in how you order your food. It's to how you go to the car wash, to how you do your banking, to your doctor's visits. It's everything. It's everywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, you essentially have to drop the digital part of practice, and it's just practice, because that's what practice is these days. And if you aren't practicing that way, you're either doing like really small projects or you're not going to be around much longer.
Well, and I could. It's an intentional choice for some architects who are still practicing, and it's like, well, the ship has sailed, and I don't need to do that. And not only that, it's intimidating and frustrating, and there's real downsides to it as well, especially.
Well, but I mean, isn't every practice, regardless, large, small, and everywhere in between, still influenced by the way that you implement all the technologies into the way that you do it, whether it's, I'm just a sole practitioner and I just do some form of BIM, or I still do CAD, or I still do things like that. It's still interwoven into the way that you practice. I mean, the second, like, where I'm going is like there was the olden days where we were just kind of like going from pencil to CAD, and we just sort of still looked at it as more of an extension of a drafting table, right? And now it is so interwoven into the way that we manage projects, manage all of the different aspects of it, finances, marketing, everything, that there is not one thing that isn't influenced by technology of some form, fashion, or whatever.
I'm imagining there's a few people listening who are shaking their fists at the cloud right now, and
which cloud?
Not the construction cloud that you were talking about earlier. Or maybe they are, but there's definitely people out there who are like, whatever, and I totally get it. It's a thing that you have to contend with, and you can well, you can also choose not to contend with it. That's a legitimate decision as well. But modern practice, and especially big firms, which the representatives on my panel were all from, recognize that this is a thing, that there needs to be a path to leadership for these people because they understand it. And if the firm is only increasingly digital, you need someone in leadership or some people in leadership who deeply, deeply understand this stuff. And so I think if there's one big takeaway for me was just in the quality of the thoughtfulness of the answers that they gave. And because the conversation was varied because the audience was asking questions. It was not like a linear progression of tell the story about your ascension to whatever position they were in. It was coming from, how do you adopt technology? Tell me about the kind of people that the last person you hired. Like, it was all over the place. But the length to which they went to answer these questions was really, really incredible because it was nuanced. And they really showed how well they understood the question, but also they were really trying to give people insight into the thought process, whatever it needed to happen to answer that question fully. And I think that, to me, is like that vulnerability of putting it all out there is something we don't see that often in a dialogue with leadership in the profession.
Yeah. And it shows how, I mean, now I'm going to admit to you that I haven't obviously seen it. So, because
it just came out today.
I was going to say it's hot off the presses. And so,
it is.
And I am looking forward to it, but I can just sort of imagine that this is kind of showcases like the mastery that you need in understanding not only where your firm is going, but where the profession is going. And we're not just talking about the profession of architecture, but the whole AEC industry and how it's going about and moving forward, and to be vital and viable in the profession. You need that mastery. You need that understanding. You need to know where your firm needs to position itself.
And I would take that further and say you need people who to build on what you just said. Yes, you need that, and you need role models in those positions.
Yes, yeah.
And
absolutely.
To me, these people are examples that the audience, and I think the audience of this podcast, should they be interested in that, could strive and look at and just be like, wow, okay, there's somebody that I can identify with, or pieces of those individuals, and say, there's a path for me that I didn't realize was a path for me because my professors in school never talked about that as an option.
Yeah. And we're always getting fielded that question of, what if I don't want to be the traditional architect? Like I am. I'm a traditional architect. I want to see a project from A to Z and all of those other things. And I have I'm going to say, and as you know, I have an understanding of how technology affects the process. And, what I do, I don't have a mastery. I don't have a mastery of it. Right. And I say, just show me what I need to know so I can get this project done, kind of thing. But that's not what we're looking for, and that's not what the profession needs. And so there is those people out there that are like, look, I like doing this. And it's understanding how I do my stuff, but then how other people in other realms of the profession, and again, when I keep saying profession, I don't just mean architecture. As you're saying, it's the AEC industry and how all of that stuff works together. I mean, really, those are and these are even what I say to my students is like, you're the ones who are going to reshape the profession. And you're at just this, like, we understand the technology of the tools we use, So, like, I'm over here flint napping with Revit, right? But, like, that's like nothing. That's just a tool for me to, like, produce drawings, right? That is not what is influencing the profession.
Yeah. There was one answer to a question which was in regards to the last person that those individuals hired, and I wanted to highlight because I'm thinking about your students right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about how do you make a way in this profession for yourself, and what can you do to position yourself for success? And because one of the answers to that question points in a direction that I thought was really insightful, and that is Shane Berger from SOM talked about the last person that he hired and why he hired that person. Okay, so there's obviously portfolios, and there's there's all these things that you could use as examples of your work ethic or your things you're interested in, whatever. But the reason he hired the last person that he talked about was because of their enthusiasm for what they do. Okay. And that excitement got him excited. And then it just said, okay, here's an opportunity for somebody who's really excited about something to get some room for a runway to and resources. Mm-hmm. I'm working at SOM, right? There's resources available to just see what can happen. And even said that this person is even presenting ideas that are 6 months, a year away of things that they want to be able to do over time. And he's like, it's absolutely incredible to watch this person just go. And I think that that's a really great kind of indicator of something that anybody can leverage to their advantage is passion. Right? It's excitement and passion for what you're doing. And it doesn't matter if it's technology. It could be design. It could be people-oriented. It can be so many different things. But how many times have you seen students present their work and they just seem like they're bored with it? And they just seem like, I'm just checking the boxes now.
Yeah.
And
sadly,
that is a silent killer, right? Like that, if somebody's bored with something, it's a clue that they're not into it, right? And I thought that it was just a nice reminder that we need to be excited in the work that we're doing, and that's hard sometimes to be excited in everything, but to find that spark that really is something that you're excited about and excited about sharing it as well, to me is an indicator for that.
So I know that this is going to sound generic when I say this, but so in one of the juries that I was on, not of my own class, but of a friend of mine's, actually a friend of our show's, Kurt, who he was teaching a earlier studio last year. And he had invited the AIA Michigan president, who is also the dean of another architecture school nearby in the Detroit area. And what was interesting about it, and I love learning how to be on a jury from other jurors. And I loved the way that his enthusiasm about the profession and really showing an interest in what they were doing kind of shaped how I would kind of re-ask some of the questions that I ask. But the one that actually was really interesting was he started this whole thing off and he would ask, did you have fun? Did you enjoy this? What excited you about what
are you excited about?
Yeah. Exactly. And I was just like, why aren't we asking those questions? Why is it it's just oh, are you sure that this is where you should put your door? Or tell me how you get the trash out of this building. No, those are
get out of here.
Exactly. It's you're in school, we're trying to make the next generation of architects. Are you having fun? Do you enjoy this? Is this exciting you? This whole process, what did you learn from it? What do you, what are you going to be able to just take with you into the career to show everybody else, and including yourself, how much you actually love doing this and want to learn more and all these other things. And
because it's not always going to be like that, right? Let's be totally honest. You
True,
have
but still,
very difficult days, difficult problems, difficult clients, and
sure,
that needs to find its way up to the surface sometimes. And if it can, I mean, that's what keeps you in the career over the long haul.
Well, so think about this. I mean, you and I have talked about this on numerous occasions on both the podcast and just when we're walking around buildings together and stuff. And it's just like these constant reminders of why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. And why we search out those reminders when times are tough, when things are hard, when, the project's beating you down or the clients have beaten you down or you're just exhausted. And there's people who are just like, why the hell do I do this to myself? But the funny thing is that then they remind themselves why they do this. Because they do have that excitement. They do have that spark. They do have that love and passion for what they do. And so they're searching for it. But I'm kind of digressing from like where we're at. But I mean, what was interesting about it is as you were talking about like the reason why they hired this person is because they had excitement in that. And honestly, if they have a excitement and passion for that, and a true excitement, true passion for it, even in the tough times, they're going to keep looking for that. They're going to keep kind of pushing in elevating what they do.
Well, how lucky is that person also to find a place that sees that as a potential in that person? Yeah. And because how many positions exist where it's like, we just need you to run the Revit, right? We just need you to click faster, more, right?
Click
we need
faster.
you to,
click harder, faster, longer.
There's definitely an issue in the profession with that kind of hiring procedure, right? Yeah. Just to fill a need. And all firms have to fulfill needs, but also to be able to match that to passion and potential and creativity and excitement, rather than sticking somebody in a position and then saying, okay, now you're not going to be creative and you're going to work a lot and you're going to click a lot and you're going to not sleep as much and you're right. Like there's all of these downsides to it versus the upsides.
How long is that person going to be at that firm?
Yeah.
You just kind of pigeonhole. It was joking with some of my students, and they're just like, yeah, I know that when I get to a firm, I'm going to start my career off doing toilet room details and stuff like that. And it just seems to be like they're already positioning themselves to kind of almost be let down in the profession before they even get there.
Right. There's some like a healthy attitude to say, like, I understand that I have a lot of learning to do.
Sure.
Right. But yeah, what you're talking about, I see what you're saying there. It's like we need to watch out for that as leaders in firms. We need to watch out so that doesn't just become the hole that they are pigeonholed into, right? For because how many times? I mean, maybe you know somebody like this, Cormac Phelan. But it's like, you're so good at what you do, the reward for great work is more work, right? Like,
yeah.
So
actually, what was funny is I gave the very quintessential Cormac response to the one who's just like, well, I'm just going to be doing bathroom plans. And then as I was looking, I'm just like, well, you know why they are going to make you do bathroom plans? Because you lay out bathrooms like that. And I was pointing at their bathrooms.
Because you got a lot to learn.
Because you got a lot to learn. No, actually, funny enough, I made the joke, but the team was just filled with a bunch of like very talented kids that I just don't want them to lose. Like, I want them to go into a profession already jaded with expectations of limitations, right? Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of other amazing presentations. I think that they've all been recorded and put on the Core Studios YouTube channel. Don't quote me on that, but maybe by the time this episode is live, they should be up there. So if they are, we'll put a link in the show notes. I do want to talk about another thing that I visited there in New York, though, that I thought was super inspirational.
What was that?
Little Island.
Another one that is literally like a bucket list of like, how close have I been yet still not gone?
Right. Well, I want to say the last time I was there, it was maybe still under construction, or maybe the last time I saw it, but this was the first time I actually got to go experience it. I can't remember exactly, like maybe it was really close to opening but not available, or we didn't have time. I can't remember, but kind Because it was definitely like after the AIA conference that we
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
when we were in New York,
Yeah.
right? That I think it was built a year or two maybe after that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But wow, super cool. So Little Island it's a park that sits out over the Hudson River like a pier, but it's
Yeah.
these.
It's a
I don't know,
reimagining
tulip-shaped?
of what a real pier is. You know, of what
It's a
pier is.
reimagining of a pier and a park. So it's this. It's very cool, and so it's by Thomas Heatherwick's studio. And so what's really interesting about it is how similar it is to the High Line, and yet it's very different, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
because it's not repurposing, it's a new construction project. It's very immersive, and I don't know, you explore it. They encourage you to explore it, but
Yeah.
in the same like vertical, I don't know what's the right word. It's like the same. It's in the same kind of context as the High Line, where it's a landscape project
Yeah.
that is also infrastructure, that is also a little bit of architecture, and it's
Well, I mean-
just really well designed.
It is replacing the pier structures that were there and that kind of like dot that whole shoreline up and down.
Right.
What is it? West Manhattan shoreline. And so it is a reimagining, but it takes it in such a completely different direction in the way that it's like, okay, normally we drive piles into the ground, we put a little flat surface on there, and then maybe some park benches and all of these other things.
Maybe
There's the
some
pier.
AstroTurf.
Yeah, and there's the pier, and then Heatherwick, in very Heatherwick kind of fashion, says, no, let's do it this way.
Well,
Where
it's super experiential, and that to me
Yeah.
is the Heatherwick kind of through line, right? It
Yes.
is
Yeah.
the human experience and the human scale of things, and I mean that really reads in this project.
Yeah, I mean, almost like it's on my bucket list of New York things to go and see. Maybe I might actually do that along with finally getting into the Guggenheim. But everybody that goes there had a coworker who was just recently there as well and took their family there, and so it was interesting because he was like kind of talking about how not only the way that he experienced it as an architect, but then the way that his kids experienced it, thing was completely different, and it was just this kind of, I mean, he was just enamored by the whole thing.
It is
Yeah.
enamorable. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we need more of those.
We do. I mean, that is really a great point that you we need more of these. Of course, they're bigger budgets.
Yeah.
Of course, they take longer, and they are so worth it. Like, it is just such an amazing resource for the people who get to experience it.
Where has the whimsy gone?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, what is it? The Vessel? Is that what it's called? I always
Yeah.
call it the Pine Cone. But I mean, it's a folly that is purely intended to be something that affects your experience of a place, right? It's like, okay, you're there, you're outside of the vessel, you're looking at the vessel, and you're like, what the hell is this thing all about? Then you go and you start walking around and walking up the vessel, and you're like, oh, look at this, and you're getting these different perspectives of a New York that you wouldn't have seen in the way that you would have seen it if you weren't up in the air like you are. And it's just these fun and whimsical little things that just, it's, as you said, purely an experiential thing. And it doesn't have to, like, I've heard people criticize it, like, well, what's purpose does it serve? To have fun. Is that okay? Are you all right with that? Like,
Well, I think it was a premise in the question that no, it's not okay.
yeah, it's like, and I've even heard a few little like negative comments about the island. What is it called? The island,
Little Island. Yeah.
Little Island, and I just, again, it's why not get playful with place? In fact, actually, what's interesting is that there is a part of the assignment that the students are working on right now where they do have to do a little bit of like placemaking of a site next to the building that they're creating to kind of like tie it in to that, but also kind of create kind of this accessible park for everybody to kind of enjoy. And what I've sort of explained to them is like, it doesn't just have to be like a couple of paths and a couple of park benches, unless that's what you're going for. I was like, you can have fun, get whimsical with it, get playful, just do something that is kind of unconventional, but still pushing to have a little bit of fun with it.
I always loved and totally took responsibility for hardscape, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to pick plants. I am not going to try to do
True.
the landscape architect's job. I mean, that is not an easy job, actually.
No, it's not.
But I love the integration of architecture and landscape, which I call hardscape. Maybe that's the wrong word, but like to me, that is such a fun design challenge. It's really cool.
And to me, it's kind of an imperative, right? I mean, like you design a building, okay, so you set the thing down on the landscape. Is that it? Is that you're done?
Right.
Like, is that where the design starts and stops? I mean, what about the experience, the procession to the building? You know, what about like how you actually weave your way there? Think about like how you've got like even the simple little moves that, like, let's just say like Wright did, where he would bring you up to a place, but then you would always sort of like turn away from the entrance and then turn towards the entrance, and you kind of curate the way that you're experiencing not just the architecture, but the place and how they're integrated together with landscape and everything else. And I mean, to me, that's all part of the program.
Well, that's part of
right?
that human experience, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like I'm not in the building, now I'm in the building, and there was no transition. I mean, well, of course that happens quite often, right? And it's harsh. It's super harsh.
Yeah. It's not like the kind of like the traditional MEP solution of it's just like, well, 5 feet outside of my building. Well, that's all the civil engineer's job. So I'm done. Wash my hands of it. Like kind of thing. You're like, but it's like, but for us, it's like, wouldn't the experience be better if we were able to kind of curate how we got to our building and how we saw and experienced not just the four walls and roof, but the experience to it. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we're just weird.
Well, I think part of it comes from my appreciation of nature and the outdoors, right? And I know not everybody has that, but that to me is what's always driving that, is like, how can I weave these things together?
So you have gone to Taliesin West, and I've gone to Taliesin. It's not E.
Just that's it. That's all it is.
Taliesin.
Yeah.
And one of the strengths of the experience of, let's just call it a house, isn't the fact that you're just getting it, I'm going to walk up to the front door and go into the house. It is how he curates you through the landscape, all of the spaces that are created, all of these like little moments of like just discovery, right? That aren't architecture as in like this is the wall, this is the window, and all this other stuff, but it's all of the other things that makes that
it's
wall
still
and
spatial.
window and everything. Exactly.
Yeah.
And with that, and then so like, because it even extends into the building, because then when you go inside and you're looking at how it's positioned on the site, and
You
you're
have that
looking through
connection
the window,
back out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we're not doing that, why?
You're leaving
You're
money
leaving
on
a
the
whole
table.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any other examples of architects who do that really well off the top of your head? I'm trying to think. I think we see it more often now because of a lot more green walls, green roofs, things like that. But even the old case study houses with courtyard designs, where there was an outdoor room in the middle of of a house that all these rooms got to look into. There's so many good examples of this.
My little summer trips and things. And then when I went for my daughter's spring break back down to Florida, and I dropped her off so that she could go have fun at the amusement park. And I went to go have amusement park of my own, which was going and visiting a couple of different architectural campuses. And what was interesting about that is like the difference between the experience of like this new campus that was the centerpiece of this campus is Calatrava's building, which obviously I'm hoping that there's more to come to really kind of like set the stage of like this experience. And really it was sort of not there yet, or hopefully it's coming, but it was not there.
It's in the master plan. Yeah.
Yes. But then you go to Florida Southern, and Florida Southern College is the college that Frank Lloyd Wright did. And what I find amazing every single time I go there is just a different experience. And it's not just, and rarely do I actually go in buildings because this is an active campus and I'm not going to be trespassing into somebody's classroom or something. But it's the experience of the buildings in the landscape, and it just showed the mastery of an architect who, whether or not he was from an area, understood the environment he was designing in and could capture the spirit of that place. And here I am as somebody who grew up in Florida, and I'm looking at Florida Southern, who was designed by a Midwesterner who really didn't have strong connections to Florida, really. And he'd created probably one of the most Florida places that I've ever actually been to. And there's a lot of like Florida places, but they don't, like, this felt like Florida. Like, you're just like, if you could like capture what the essence of a place is in architecture, in site planning, in landscaping, in this whole kind of like effort of placemaking, that's probably one of the best ones.
Great
honestly.
Case study. Yeah.
It's I was dumbfounded. I'm sitting there under the canopies and I'm thinking to myself, this dude captured the essence of seeking out shade and shelter underneath the canopies of trees during a hot Florida summer day when you're just looking for a little bit of breeze to kind of provide you with some relief from the sun, or if it starts to rain. And I'm standing there underneath these canopies and I'm looking at the way that like the colonnade of supports for the canopies are, and you just like, this feels like you're looking for some live oaks to hide under or to find some shade and stuff. And it just felt like Florida.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude didn't know squat about Florida probably before he started doing this. And it was kind of impressive. And so it's those kind of people, the Heatherwicks, the Pfeiffers. Pfeiffer's another great one, that they just understand the mission isn't just about the building. It's about it's about everything that the building.
It's the integration.
Yes.
Yeah. Completely agree. Well, I hope you get to experience Little Island and the other bucket list stuff that you haven't been to yet in New York, but there's always more. So
I just happened to glance over and I just found this little pink Post-it where I sat and did a little quick scribble sketch of you. See, I got your wispy hair going on there. Got your little soul patch.
It's a caricature. You're a caricature artist. Look at you. Good job. You're an architect and a caricature artist.
Hi, Ed. Hey, how you doing? And a ventriloquist.
All right. Enough of that already. Talk to you next time.
Yeah.